Hi guys, it's Amy coming at you from Living Waters, Lifestyle Armor, and Living Our Best Life. Make sure that you go on Facebook and like Living Waters, Living Our Best Life, and Lifestyle Armor, and subscribe on YouTube to Living Our Best Life. Hit the bell to get notifications so you know when we get videos like this uploaded. So today we're going to do a yin practice. In a yin class, it's usually dark. In my yin class anyways, it's usually dark, relaxing. We don't use props in a true yin class, just our body weight. It's a lot of hands-on assist, so I'm sorry that you're missing that today in your yin practice. And we usually hold the poses anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. Obviously, if it's a right-left thing, 5 on the right, 5 on the left, or if you're doing 3 on the right, 3 on the left. And so today, in my spirit and my mind, I've just been kind of thinking about being grounded, allowing ourselves to be grounded in this crazy time. And so what grounds us, allow that to be your intention, or just letting yourself be grounded in this practice today. But when I think about being grounded, of course, my faith comes into my head at one point. But you think about your feet, or I think about my feet, because they ground us. If you are somebody that has the ability to walk, your feet ground you. That's something that you get out of bed and you put your feet and place them on the ground every day. And whether you're feeling a piece of carpet underneath of your feet, ceramic, hardwood, whatever it is that you're feeling underneath of your feet, that is immediately what grounds you when you get out of the bed. Your feet. So I want focus your intention today. I mean, you can pick whatever you want, but you know how we do at Living Waters. We usually always give you an intention. And so let your intention today be what grounds you, or finding yourself so that you can be grounded. Thinking about what you need to be grounded in more, maybe. Maybe right now it's hard to kind of get away because we're in our houses. And so maybe you're not praying or meditating or practicing or working out as much because you just kind of can't get away and you're out of your normal routine. You obviously can't go to the studio or the gym or whatever. And maybe that is a time that grounds you to be able to get away and pray, meditate, or work out or practice your yoga. So maybe you're missing that. And maybe we just need to find 2 minutes to be able to go do those things that ground us. And when we get out of that routine, it's hard to get back into the routine. So let's not lose those things that ground us, okay? So that's our intention today. Allow yourself to be grounded, or what grounds you. And as we're in this practice, I'll kind of talk about it. Of course, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to hold the poses just for downloadability of this video. I'm not going to hold the poses for 5 minutes. I'm going to guide you through them. And then as you're doing this practice, you can set your timer, or if you want to, God forbid, look at the clock, but you can set your timer on your phone and just do 5 minutes of these yin postures that we're going to do today. Remember, yin is great. We all need yin. Everybody needs yin. Even if you're in a wheelchair or you're bedridden, you need yin. So yin gets into the fascia, which is that covering that's over our muscles and our organs and everything, kind of like what you see over chicken and meat, is that thin layer of covering that we usually try to pull off. That's our fascia. Ligaments, tendons, all of that's connecting bone and muscle together. And those areas are where disease like to lay. So we want to get into those areas as much as we can to prevent illness and disease. And I'm not saying yoga heals everything, because we can't make medical claims, but okay. So yin gets into the fascia, ligaments, and tendons, and that's what we're going to get into today. But specifically, we're going to get into the ligaments, the tendons, and the fascia in the feet, because that's what ground us, okay? So because you love it so much, and Timmy Howard calls this toe crunch asana, it's just a toe crunch. It's just a way to crunch your toes or bend your toes in a way that we don't normally do. We're not all ballerinas, So this is a way for us to get into the toes that we wouldn't normally do because usually our feet are grounded and flat. So we're going to go into toe crunch asana. So what you do is you pop up on your toes, okay? And you can stay right here if that's enough. Come down to your knees and go into that toe crunch asana. So if your butt can't go down onto your heels, or if that's too much for your feet or your ankles, you can come up high like this, okay? Or you can slowly come down. I wouldn't recommend holding it right here unless you want to get your quads working out right there. Or if you can come all the way down to the butt where it touches the heels, that's where you can go. Ultimately, if that's not enough for you and you want to go back a little bit, you can go back and put a little bit more weight on those toes, okay? So you're going to find whatever is comfortable for you, whatever maybe is challenging for you, whatever feels good to you, okay? And that's where we're going to go. So another thing you can also do, and you probably don't have, you could take a yoga mat, you could take a blanket, and roll it up, kind of like so, like a taco, like a burrito. And if it bothers your knees, you can put it behind your knees. Okay, that kind of feels good this morning. So find those toes all popped up, kind of like you're in a stiletto heel here. And then you're just going to find some stillness. You're going to close your eyes. Sit up nice and tall if you're sitting up like this and not leaning back. And you're going to set that timer for 5 minutes. And remember, whenever you are really wanting to come out of the pose, remember that's when it's starting to work. So you want to try to stay there. Stay there for as long as you can for that 5 minutes, if possible, or stay for as long as you can. So if your toes feel like they're ripping off, literally, then come out of it. But if it's just you're uncomfortable, you know, I did a meditation the other day on being uncomfortable and allowing the uncomfortable to teach us something. And YIN does that too. It brings up emotion. And I know it's not a studio setting, it's not all nice and dark, and we don't have the candles in the fireplace going and the incense, but allow yourself to try to get as much of this experience at home, since we're all stuck and this corona got us all locked up, to get the most of the experience. Because yes, it's about atmosphere. I mean, it really does make a YIN class nice when you're in there and the smells and the feels and the lighting is just right. But it's really about the poses. And I think it's kind of crazy, you know, I'm choosing not to play music in my videos because of copyright reasons. I don't want to get in trouble. I already get in enough trouble. I don't need more trouble. And so I think that it's a different vibe when you don't have the music. You know, you have your breath. I thought about doing this outside this morning, and then I thought, yeah, it's a little cold. But how cool would it just to be to hear the birds and stuff like that? So after you've got your 5 minutes in your toe crunch asana, of course, we've only been here for maybe 2. You come out of it. Some people like to kind of hit their feet on the mats. Okay, roll out the ankles. Try to give you something to transition into. And then we're going to come sit on our bottom. I have my phone propped up against my water, and I'm sitting here looking at it like I want my water. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our fingers, and since we're not supposed to be touching anybody, we're supposed to be having social distancing, okay? This is okay. And we're supposed to be washing our hands, which is not a new thing. We're going to take our fingers, all of these pointer fingers, pointer, middle, ring, pinky, and we're going to place them in between our toes. And we can do both at the same time. Getting them in there. Ooh, my left foot's a little bit tighter. Okay, and we're just gonna sit. So a lot of times you can incorporate meditation and yin together. It just depends. If you're like really uncomfortable in the body because we're doing hips or something and your hips are screaming, then you might not be able to meditate very easily. Maybe you do. Maybe that's what keeps your mind off of coming out of the pose. But, so now what we're doing is spreading these toes wide, getting into them that way. And if it's comfortable, you can kind of drop the legs down in Baddha Konasana, getting kind of a 2-for-1 here. Hips and toes, feet. So you're going to stay here for 5 minutes with your fingers and your toes, wherever you choose to go. I mean, if you're really feeling like, oh, I can really get it out there and stretch it, you can go here too. All right, 5 minutes here. Come fingers out, just slide them out. And then transition. So what I like to do is, and I'll put my foot, it's clean, I took a shower, but it might not look like it. Stretch your toes. Get into them yogi toes. Try to put air in between all of them. And I can't hardly do it in between my pinky. In my, what I would call my ring toe, I don't know. This little piggy went to market, this little piggy stayed home, this little piggy ate roast beef, this little piggy had none. So that's my nun toe. Not nun like Catholic nun, I mean like nun, like none. But I can't get space in between these and these. I gotta pull them apart. So spread them. Kind of do like this to them. Bunch them up like you're making a fist with your feet. All right. So here goes our next one. 5 minutes here. So we took the toes and we bent them back in the toe crunch asana. Then we spread them out. Now we're going to take the toes, take the toes and we're going to pull them back, getting a nice stretch in the front of your feet. So if you've ever looked at the anatomy, maybe I'll post a picture, I'll get my anatomy book, I think I have it here at the house. The anatomy of the feet, there are very few muscles in your feet, very, very few. And you would think, man, they're holding us up every day, but it's tendons, of course it's bone, tendons and ligaments and fascia. So our feet need yin. All right, so we're gonna bend those feet back this time. So instead of tucking the toes like we did in toe crunch asana, we're gonna place them on the floor, on the mat. I'm on a piece of rug, so that's kind of comfortable. And again, you can stay right here. That might be enough for you. Take it back and let the heels touch the butt. That might be enough for you, okay? Ultimately, we really want to try to get into the tendons, ligaments, and fascia in those feet so we can lean back. Let me go up a little bit. So we can lean back, okay? So if you lift your hands, it's quite balancy. It's possible. If you want to get into that and you don't have the balance and you don't want to sit here for 5 minutes like this, you could always take pillows and put them underneath of there. This is getting into your ankles too. I can really feel it in my ankles. So you can put them there. Make your yoga posture. Whatever you want to do, okay? And again, you could also use the blanket bolster, the blanket burrito behind the legs. And do the same thing with or without the pillows, okay? Get rid of all my house props, call them house props. This gets into the ankles too. So of course you want to be mindful all the time of what's going on with your body. Let me try to find my balance again. So you want to be mindful of what's going on in the body. If you have ankle injuries, then you probably don't want to go all the way back like this. I broke the top of my foot when I was like 11. Dropped a cinder block on it. We were having a yard sale. Why I remember that, I have no clue. But it had a big old egg on the top of it. But it doesn't bother me. I'm sure I've probably broken my pinky toe on both feet several times, hitting that sucker on something in the middle of the night. So just be mindful of your body. Do what feels good, listen to your body, but you also don't let the enemy of the craziness of the battlefield in your mind be your true gauge. You know what I mean? Oh, I gotta come out. I'm getting anxious. My legs are gonna fall off. No, let's reassess the situation. Let's see. My legs really gonna fall off, or am I just uncomfortable? Okay? And that takes grounding when we've got to stop and reassess the situation and really make a good decision based on that. That takes some grounding. You got to stop. You got to breathe. You got to take a moment. You're not just running around like a chicken with your head cut off saying the sky is falling like Chicken Little, right? A lot of people are doing that right now. Go ahead and come down after your 5 minutes. Roll off to one side. Holy, holy, holy. Roll out those ankles. Spread the toes. Flex them, point them, whatever feels good. This is going to be like my feet in the camera the whole time. All right. So we've done toe crunch asana for 5 minutes. We've done fingers in the toes for 5 minutes. We've done pull the feet back for 5 minutes. So that's 1, 2, 3, right? Toe crunch asana, fingers in the toes. Pull the toes back. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get into the arches. 5 minutes. So I'm going to take my blanket just to show you, but if you have a strap at home, if you have a belt at home, a curtain tie back, which is some of our straps at the studio, kind of ghetto, whatever you have, socks, a t-shirt, a tank top, a bra, a pair of underwear, I don't care what you use. You're going to grab that. Got pillows falling. And I want you to use something. This might not work. I'm going to have to do this. I want you to use something because we're going to be here for a while. And not everybody can grab their feet. And even if you can grab your feet, you're not really getting into the arches with something like this. So something skinnier is going to be a lot better than this blanket. But just for showing you or instructing you, I'm going to use this because I don't want to get up and find anything else. So you're going to take whatever you have for your strap and you're going to put it on the arches of your feet. And then you're going to get a nice good hold on it. This is going to work out your arms a little bit. Get a nice good hold on it. And you're going to extend your legs out. Okay? Once you do this, I want you to just relax your feet. So again, if I had a strap or a belt or something skinnier, or even a tank top or a t-shirt, it would be better because you really want it to not cut in, but you really want it to put some pressure on the arches of your feet. So and this is really not skinny enough. Like if I rolled it maybe. And then you're going to relax your feet. Kind of just let them fall. And then you're going to pull as hard as you can. So if you want to kind of make this, okay, I'm going to get some yin in the back of my legs too, my lower back and everything, you can go to a seated forward fold. Or you can sit up nice and tall and use your arms and pull it. So you're going to go 5 minutes. So maybe you do 2.5 minutes here and maybe you do 2.5 minutes here. It's up to you, okay? But yeah, try not to use a thick blanket like this. Use something thinner. If you have a belt, I don't wear belts, so I don't have a belt. But if you have something thinner, my husband has a belt, I guess I could use that. Actually, a bra would work great, but you'd probably stretch it out really bad. So find something that simulates a yoga strap, and you're going to do this posture for 5 minutes. And again, make sure you're relaxing the feet. We've already done a lot to those feet. And remember to breathe. You don't have to go full Ujjayi unless the pose is getting difficult. Then go full Ujjayi to help you cope through that pose. So let's recap. 5 minutes in toe crunch asana, where we pulled the toes back and sat on the heels. 5 minutes where we took the fingers and interlace them with our toes. 5 minutes where we took the toes back and really bent the fronts of the, stretched the fronts of the feet, tops of the feet, and the ankles. And now we're here. This is our 4th posture. We've got one more after this. So 5 here, okay? So then we're simply going to take this posture to laying down. So it's not the same thing, because in this one you're relaxing the feet, even though you're pulling back on those arches, okay? You're relaxing them. This time you're going to lay back. You're going to lay back. And this time you're going to flex the feet. Really pulling with your arms. Pull the toes back. And you're still on the arches of the feet with whatever you have you're using for your strap. Arches don't get a lot of love. So you're going to stay 5 minutes here. And you're getting some yin here in the backs of your legs. If you want to get a little bit of a workout here for your belly, make sure that you're pushing the lower back into the mat. If that'll engage your belly, pull the belly button to the spine. Pushing it down there. And then once your 5 minutes are done here, take your strap off and hug your knees into your chest. Kind of rock side to side. And then take a nice spinal twist, but legs fall to the right. Close-eye gaze over the left shoulder. And just relax. You can stay here for as long as you feel like. But for video purposes, I'm going to bring it in and drop the legs to the left. Close-eye gaze over your right shoulder. Try to keep the backs of those shoulders flat on the mat, flat on the floor, whatever you're practicing on. And then again, staying there for as long as you want, but for this video purposes and downloading, hug the knees into the chest. Begin to make yourself super, 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 super small. Face and knees come together. Take a nice deep breath in. Tighten everything up. Hold that breath in as you tighten, and hold that for as long as you can. Tightening, 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 holding the breath. And then when you can't tighten and hold the breath anymore, let the breath out of the mouth. And release yourself into your lovely final resting yin pose. Shavasana. Whew. You can stay here for as long as you want. Breathing. Releasing everything to the mat. Reconnecting to your intention if you lost it during the practice. What grounds you? Does God ground you? Does your spouse, your family, your kids, your friends, your yoga practice, going to the gym, your prayer life, your meditation practice? What grounds you? Do we need to be a little bit more grounded? Do we need to come back to that? So we're not running around like Chicken Little in a panic. Laying in your Shavasana for as long as you want. When you're ready, you're going to slowly roll to that right side. Just take a moment there. Allowing your entire body, your mind, and your spirit to find some grounding right here. You can be here for as long as you want. We're going to slowly rise up at this point. come to sit in Sukhasana, comfortable seated pose or whatever's comfortable for you. Let your head be the last to come up when you rise up. Sitting with a nice, straight, tall spine. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale your hands to heart center. I thank you guys for turning on Facebook or YouTube this morning, or today, whatever day or whatever time of day it is that you're watching or practicing this. Don't forget to take time for yourself. Don't forget to find some grounding in your day, even if it's for a minute. Find it. We need it. I pray that you are grounded in your faith, grounded in your family, and grounded, more importantly, or most importantly, grounded in love. We bow forward with grateful hearts, sharing, and namaste.